Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Potsy Chronicles. And boy, did this one, well, it kind of blew us away. So, yeah.
Oh boy, I see what you did there. Well, here we are. We made it through. No matter what happens after this episode, we've made it through season 1. Can you believe that?
I cannot.
And here's the thing. You might not know about this as much because television is a little different now. Well, certainly from when 1974 happened, but, kind of back in the day when I was a child as well. Not so much now. I don't even know when this happened, but, 16 episodes of a season. Now you get like 10 Netflix shows. People stay up for like 2 days to watch all of The Lincoln Lawyer, you know what I mean? And then they like binge it. But then like you had to wait like at a certain time. And you know what? If you didn't see it, you were out of luck. Because in 1974, I don't know, I don't think they had VCRs. I think VCRs were like in the early 80s. You know what I mean? So like if you missed it, you were done. So what would happen is they like played like 16 episodes? Yes. Okay, I guess I'm talking to myself. 16.
I didn't understand.
This was episode 16 of season 1, right?
Yes.
So in January, they're just rolling through these episodes. What I'm trying to say in a very roundabout way is nowadays Netflix gives you, oh my God, I said the name of the brand. A streaming service will give you 10 episodes, right? And you can watch it whenever you want, sit up all night and watch it if you want to. And then that's it for a year, you know? But back in the day, like they'd start in September, let's say. So Happy Days season 2, I would imagine, would start in September. They'd probably have like 35 episodes, right? I'm just guessing because 16, probably doubling it. Let's just say for the sake of argument, 35 episodes, right? 35 episodes in a year as opposed to 10 now. And then in the summer, they would show the rerun. So like if you missed Knock Around the Block, which wasn't this one, right? This was the other block one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you missed Knock Around the Block, you need to wait to see Mr. Squirt like in July or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does any of that make sense? No.
Not really.
All right. I think it's a combination. I think it's 90% I didn't explain it well, and 10% it's just like so convoluted compared to how it is now. What I'm trying to say is nowadays streaming services give you 10 episodes. You can watch them whenever you want. You can watch them all in one night if you want. And then you have to wait a year, right? Here, they gave you all these episodes. Then you see the reruns over the summer. Then they give you new episodes. A lot, not just 10. I probably should have just said all that. But here we are. Yeah. So anyways, we are done with season 1. This was episode 16. Now, if you're listening to these in order, you probably realize we went from 13, I think, to 15, right? And then 15 to 14, and now 14 to 16. Now, I'm not going to go too into depth of why this happened because I've explained it many times, but I messed up the order on the DVDs. We're watching this on DVDs. A lot of the Happy Days. There is a streaming service, I'm not going to name the name, that has a Happy Days channel, right? So you would think, yes, I know. For those that couldn't see, he gave a shocked look. Yeah. It's a streaming service. They have a Happy Days channel, so they show, like, for 24 hours, they show Happy Days episodes. Mork and Mindy, which was a spinoff. Laverne and Shirley, which was a spinoff. I don't know, maybe other things. But you would think they would have every single Happy Days episode if you're a Happy Days 24-hour channel, right?
That's what I was about to ask. Do they just have everything Happy Days related?
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if they're showing the same episode over and over because they have nothing from season 1. That's why I had to get the DVD. So, like, if you're a Happy Days channel, I feel like you should have all 255 episodes, maybe show them in sequential order, maybe mix in some Laverne and Shirley, but they don't have where you can see every episode on the Happy Days channel. You'd think if it was a Happy Days channel, you could see every Happy Days, right?
I mean, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so I don't even know why I brought that up because there is a Happy Days channel, but you can't see all the Happy Days. Not sure what you see on the Happy Days channel. I mean, sometimes I'll turn it on and I will see Mork and Mindy, which I don't know how that's a Happy Days spinoff. Again, we're going off on a very far tangent. That takes place in Denver, which, like, Denver and Milwaukee, I'm not the best in geography, but those don't seem to be too close. Well, he's supposed to be from Orc. I don't know. But suffice it to say, you can't see all the episodes of Happy Days anywhere but on apparently DVDs as of this recording. You could be listening now and you can turn on this Happy Days channel and be like, wait, all 255 episodes are on. And you know what? That would be great. It doesn't help us for season 1, but it would help us for the rest of the time if this goes forward. You know what I mean?
You think they'd be in Green Bay, since that's like in Wisconsin.
Green Bay? Yeah. You know what? I could see. Yeah, because I think they have like, I don't know if it was called Mile High Stadium in whenever the early 80s, wherever Denver played, but I feel like they had that Broncos Stadium because I think in the 80s, is all they had were the Broncos? Did they have the Avalanche and they had to have had the Nuggets in the 80s, right? I don't know.
Did they have the Rockies?
No, the Rockies was like in the early 90s. So they definitely didn't have the Rockies. So in Denver, I don't know. They might have just had the Broncos. I mean, I'm sure they probably had the Avalanche and the Nuggets, but like, yeah. So, yeah. So here we are. We're on episode 16, the last episode of Happy Days season 1. We are done with this particular set of DVDs. I'll need to take back to the library sometime. Thankfully, there was not a rush on other people finding out that the Happy Days channel doesn't stream all the episodes, and I've been able to keep it all this time. But yeah, season 1. Well, I don't know if we want to talk about season 1 yet. Maybe we should talk about it at the end, right? Or should we talk about it now?
I mean, if there is an end.
Well, there'll be an end one way or the other of this. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, let's just press forward. So this was the last episode, again, season 16. Now, again, this was a mid-season replacement. So 16 episodes is a lot of episodes nowadays, because I believe it's usually like 10 or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 16 episodes. They went probably just week by week, showing some repeats of the summer. You get to see some of these over again. Maybe you're watching all the way, not knowing what's going on. All right, so this was the season finale. Now, like I said before, at some point they retool this where Fonzie becomes more of the main character, and it's like completely retooled. But I do not know if it's season 2 or 3 where they retool it. And again, it's like, one thing that I wonder is like, what caused cancellation in 1974? Do you know what I mean? Like nowadays, you can just hire like some YouTuber and they can throw together something that you could put on. Do any YouTubers have like a network show?
Like the Beast Games?
Yeah, that's on, well, we can't say the name, but that's what I'm talking about are networks. Do you know what a network is? Like, okay, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox.
Oh.
Those are like the main kind of broadcast networks. Now, I'm not saying the others aren't networks, but those would be like the over-the-air type things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is the end of season 1, and we're going to talk about it. Episode 16, it was called, not Rocker on the Block. Wait, there was not. I'm getting so confused. So everybody, there were 2 episodes, even though we don't watch it continuously. 15 was like Knocker on the Block, right?
It is Be the First on Your Block.
Yeah, okay. So and 16 is, what'd you say, Be the First on Your Block?
Yeah.
So they use block in like 2 consecutive episode titles.
And they weren't like related in any way, so I don't really understand why.
Yeah, the one, it seems like years ago that we did that one, even though it was like 2 weeks ago. But it was the Dukes steal Potsy's bike to thank Richie for helping him out. And then this one is not that. It'll be something different that we're about to talk about. So, yeah, but then we also have Rock Around the Clock. So Knock Around the Block, and then Rock Around the Clock. Speaking of Rock Around the Clock, getting back to what I said earlier. Now, all the credits are the same, but I did look this time. Well, remember when I said something about it sounds like he says, put your rags on?
Well, before you say anything else,
yeah,
this is all just like a bunch of tongue twisters, it feels.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, you got a clock block, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Rock. Anyways, you think The Rock watched Happy Days?
I'm sure he knew about it. I know Bob Odenkirk knew about it.
Did he? How did he know?
Well, because remember he said, "Give me
Oh.
Fawn style."
Oh, yeah, Better Call Saul, yeah. Okay, so the song Rock Around the Clock is still playing. I don't know when the Happy Days theme comes in, if it's season 2, where they were told, or season 3, but it'll come in sometime. We'll see it. Maybe, maybe not. But remember how I said he said something like, put your rags on?
Yeah.
Okay, well, not only did I Google it, but he said, put your glad rags on. And then I Googled, what does glad rags mean? And it means like put your best clothes on. So I guess instead of saying just put your best clothes on, he goes, put your glad rags on. But then I realized, what did I say? On and one. Of course, those don't rhyme, but he says like, join me, hun. And then like, and hun and one, and I think he says fun in there too. So he's throwing all kinds of tongue twisters in this song. But yeah, so glad. So I wasn't crazy about that. He actually does say rags. He put your glad rags on, which I guess. So like in the 50s, are they going around, hey, put your glad rags on? I guess.
I mean, sounds like it.
What if they would do that today? That should be a TikTok. Oh God, TikTok probably would be shut down if people started saying glad rags, right?
Yeah, it would have. Yeah,
That that would be like the anti-trend.
they wouldn't be like, "Oh, we're banning it in a year." They'd be like, "Oh, we're banning this instantly."
Yeah, they'd have like the instead of the trending, they'd have like the anti-trend. You know what I mean? Like what's doing the worst, and it would be glad rags.
Yeah, it would be stuff that would want people to delete the app.
Yeah, they feel like the downfall of TikTok was actually people started saying glad rags. Oh my. All right, so that did happen. Rock Around the Clock is over.
Also, before this episode, I got to listen to Jimi Hendrix say, "Watch as he kisses this guy."
Yeah, you claim that he does say, excuse me while I kiss this guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you really say it like this guy, you know what I mean? The way he sings it, I mean, I'm pretty sure he says sky. I'm going to just go with that. But it does sound like it, the way the S and the K kind of come. Well, it's like SSK, right? This guy, this guy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we heard that. Yeah. So we cut to the opening scene, and there's, do you know what a slinky is?
Yes.
Okay,
That I
do.
do know.
That I don't even know, like, if they still have slinkies or what, but we don't see who's playing the slinky. It could be Chuck for all we know, but a slinky is, like, doing the same pattern. It's going off the coffee table. No, going, like, off a book onto the coffee table, jumping off the coffee table. And I think, like, right when the slinky jumps off the coffee table, it freezes, and it says, like, the director's name. Now, I'm wondering if, like, this director was like, ah, damn it, man. You're going to see the coolest ass thing, man. I got this all planned out. I made a deal. Instead of getting $10,000, they're like, how about we give you the greatest jump cut of all time? I don't even know if they had jump cuts back then. How about if we give you the greatest director's thing of all time? Better than Citizen Kane. And the guy's like, I'm listening. And he's like, when the slinky jumps off the coffee table, it'll say directed by. And the guy's like, yeah, man. Like he's a beatnik. I don't know.
2 things. 1, I don't think I've ever seen an old-looking slinky in my life.
Yeah.
And 2, I feel like what they could have done is they could have had the slinky, like, go on to the names rather than, like, the names just cover up the slinky.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Do you think they had that technology in the 70s?
I mean, they had the technology to put, their names up there in front.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They could have done something. I see what you're saying. They could have done something, yeah. But so, like, when you think of a slinky, do you think of that old kind of non recyclable metal, or do they have like plastic slinkies?
I think of the plastic ones. Not, like,
Yeah.
the really metal ones.
Yeah, because that was like, I don't know, like so much wasted metal probably. And then I think now they have the plastic. They even have them. I'm guessing they still have them if you know of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's having fun in the same path with the slinky. Howard comes in. He's like, oh, this episode's going off track so soon. Howard comes in. He's like, hey, we're going to have a family meeting. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
Like family meeting. So Joni's upset. She has to stop her. How long do you think Joni was doing that same thing to Slinky?
I don't know, because at least from what it seems like, there wasn't really much in the 50s.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure she was just playing with that thing all day.
Yeah, and they probably, like, were having TV problems after he got that blue and green color converter. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he calls a family meeting. Richie comes down, and then Howard explains that he met a salesman. Didn't the salesman come into like his store or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he met a salesman, and I can't remember what he's like. We really need to remember to take notes. Do you remember like how he like brought it up? Or did he just come out I feel like he did something before he said what the guy was selling, right? Or am I wrong?
I think you're right.
Yeah, so I don't know. He came in and he's trying to tell the whole family, like, they're all gonna decide on something this guy's selling that just came into a store, like, they're talking about I don't even know, like, sales and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like and then they're saying and then Marion mentions Chuck, which I was really surprised. By now, I would have thought Chuck would have been, like, written out, right?
And yeah, and sadly, Howard has to mention that he hates how he just dribbles that ball
Yeah,
and how he communicates through it.
Yeah, I think the last we had any Chuck reference was in the Beatnik episode where she was in Chuck's room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. He starts talking about how he hates how Chuck just dribbles the basketball and communicates to the ball. So then Howard brings, I don't know, something might have happened. I don't even know. And then
Does he like here's my question, like how does he communicate? Like is it through Morse code or something?
with the ball,
Yeah.
I feel like it is because remember that time where like Chuck came in and he was dribbling his basketball and his God, that seems like so long ago. Wasn't that the one where Potsy was coming over? Or no, I think it was the stag party, right? All the way back to the stag party where the aunt was coming in with her slideshow and Richie went with Potsy to the stag party and Chuck came in and he like dribbled his basketball that he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I I think that is how Chuck communicates, which I'm just wondering if that's like a way to not pay the actor. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he has a non-speaker role. Like Chuck's agent gets a call. He's like, "Well, Chuck actor, I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is you're still on the show. The bad news is you're taking a 95% pay cut because you have no speaking role, sir. You're just gonna dribble your basketball."
You're gonna just be dribbling this basketball for probably 2 cents an hour or something like that. Do you think it would have cost money for every dribble that he did?
Yeah, I bet that if he had a good agent, yes, I think it would have been like, yeah, good news and bad news, you're taking a 95% pay cut, but for every dribble that you make, you know, it'll be like $2 more or something. And then maybe like the actor Chuck went into business for himself. Like, remember when Moose opened his mouth like he was going to say something, even though he had no speaker, and like Chuck starts dribbling it really hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just see him dribbling it like crazy, like really close to the ground.
Yeah, and then the agent has to have a meeting with the director with the slinky credit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this guy's going into business for himself. We don't have that kind of money here for Chuck.
You think that's where Chuck's cut went to?
What, the agent?
No, the opening credits.
Oh, you think that they took the budgeted money for the Chuck actor and did the slinky trick shot?
Yeah, that was they could have that special effect where
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like, the agent calls up Chuck. I got Chuck actor. I got some bad news. You're not in the episode. They want to use the money that you usually dribble for a trick shot with a sling. Can you imagine getting that call? Man, I wonder what he was thinking when he got that call.
He was probably done with Happy Days.
Yeah,
Hear
he
that.
probably was done with Happy Days, really. Yeah.
That's probably why we saw the missing of Chuck.
Yeah, that's a good call, but it's really wild that they even mentioned Chuck, you know, because he has not really been mentioned in all this time. Unless, like I said, they filmed some of these out of order and they're like, hey, Chuck may be coming back. We got this new deal with him to dribble the basketball. So just mention something about him dribbling the basketball. Yeah, so then it ends up that Howard wants to build a bomb shelter, that's what he wants to spend the money on. And they're like, well, we don't have that kind of money, which I'm wondering, like, so this guy's going around to like hardware stores in Milwaukee and trying to sell the proprietors on bomb shelters?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, the family says, well, we don't have that kind of money. Where are we going to get that kind of money, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we're going to go to Carlsbad Caverns. Carlsbad Caverns. I don't even, have you ever heard of that place?
No.
Is that real?
It's probably made up.
I mean, I know that there's caverns, but I don't know. It was like Carlsberg or Carlsbad. Do you remember? Carlsbad is in California, but I don't know about, I know they didn't go to California. And I don't think, as far as I know, there's no caverns in Carlsbad, California, because that's by San Diego.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine the Cunninghams going to California.
Yeah. So, yeah, it might have been one of those things where it's like, hey, we need to make up a place because then, like, we don't want to give the Carlsbad Cavern people, like, the extra touristy money. You know what I mean? Like this family in 1974 is watching the TV. Where should we go for the summer? Let's go to Carlsbad Cavern. That sounds great. Oh my God. They don't want to give them the extra money. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
the tourism, since they didn't pay for it. Or maybe Carlsberg. I don't know. Maybe the cavern place did pay money. And that's because they mention it like 30 times. Did you notice that? The location?
Yeah.
Yeah. So bomb shelter, they're all going to take like a vote, right? And then there's something about which in a family show, Richie talks about repopulating the world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did he say? Did he say something like, are we going to be able to repopulate?
Yeah, I think he said something like he was into repopulating, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something to that effect. I don't know. Richie says something about being excited about repopulating. So, did the salesman come that night? It feels like he came that night,
Yeah.
right? Like moments later.
Yeah.
So the salesman comes in dressed in a suit and tie, holding a briefcase like you would imagine a 1950s salesman making house calls would have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he comes in and then like, they're really not into it, right? Like, doesn't Joni say something and then he's like, oh, you must be almost a teenager. And then she's all excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he's also, like, as soon as he enters in, he's like, oh, hello, Richie, you're a big boy.
Oh, yeah, he kept calling him a big boy. That's right. So he was trying to, do the sales shtick.
I wonder if, like, when Richie was being called a big boy, like, he may have looked happy on the outside, but in his mind, he was probably just like, oh, get the salesman out of here. I don't like him. I hate this salesman. Can we get him out of here? Can we not put him in the bomb shelter?
You think so?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So the one problem that this salesman does have, though, is that he can't remember anybody's names. So he kept calling Marion like Mildred and all these other names, and she was like corrected him. He couldn't even remember Howard's name, which, you think that would be one of the main things of a salesman, right? Remembering somebody's names?
Yeah, I think that's what, like, Joni even said. Is she was like, aren't you supposed to be good with names?
Yeah.
And that's when he said, like, oh, well, you're about to be a teenager, huh?
Oh, yeah. So then Howard, but I think they decided beforehand that they didn't want the bomb shelter, right? So then they tell this, Howard tells this to the salesman, and the salesman, like, I think, Howard, that's a pretty key plot point. They tell him that they don't want the bomb shelter, but then Howard's like, do you have a bomb shelter? And the guy's like, yeah, I have a bomb shelter. And then, like, the guy's like, oh, okay, no big deal. And then they're like kind of disappointed, right? Richie's like, aren't you going to try and sell us more? So
I wonder if that was like a signal to the actor, like, oh, you were supposed to kind of improv this and actually try and sell to us.
oh, you think that maybe that the actor forgot his lines?
Yeah, and he was like, oh, okay.
And they're just like, oh, we just need this take. Yeah, maybe they're like, hey, we're losing daylight here. No matter what happens, we need to get this take done. We spent all the money on the slinky trick shot. You know what I mean? So, yeah, exactly. Richie's like, hey, aren't you supposed to sell us more? Get my drift. You know what I mean? And then, yeah. So then we cut to, another key point before we cut to any place. Richie, before the meeting, wants to go to Arnold's because apparently Arnold just got back from Los Angeles and now all the waitresses are going to be riding roller skates, and he wants to go watch Marcia, the waitress that quits, fall. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not a key plot point, but it does come in later. Yeah. So
I feel like Richie used to be a lot more innocent in episode 1.
when he was lying about having sex with the girl.
Okay.
I kind of know. Well, I mean, in fairness, I do know what you mean.
Like
You
at
know,
the very beginning.
I do know what you mean. I mean, even with all that, yeah, he didn't seem to be as mischievous, right?
Yeah. Like
As
I mean, he barely even had the balls to go up to the girl, so, like, he
yeah,
was kinda more of just, like, your average, I guess, goody two-shoes, maybe?
yeah, I absolutely know what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. He did seem to be more like I wouldn't see him in the first episode, wanting Marcia to fall down and
And laugh at it?
yeah, and to laugh at it. So yeah, 100%. So then we cut to the parking lot of Arnold's. We see all these waitresses roller skate. Here's what I'm wondering: did Arnold read like the newspaper or see like the nightly news and they're like, attention, Los Angeles, they're having waitresses roller skate. And he's like, I got to book myself a plane ticket. And then probably back then, like he booked himself a nice plane ticket. He probably got himself a nice Salisbury steak meal. They used to serve meals on, God knows what they did in the 1950s on planes with meals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like now, I don't even know if you get a bag of peanuts, but back then I think they gave you like meals, like nice meals. And people like dressed up. Like, didn't Potts even dress up to go to the airport?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but I think his parents didn't they have the nicest restroom in Atlanta or something?
yeah, but he wasn't even like he went to take them to the airport, right? He didn't even. Oh, so you think he just dressed up for the ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be actually. Yeah. So Arnold flies to Los Angeles, and I guess he sees. I don't know if he has to see for himself the waitresses roller skate. I don't know. Like maybe if you saw a news story of waitresses roller skating, you might just implement it without having to see it. Don't you think?
Yeah.
But then the other thing I'm wondering is like, don't you think he should have sat the waitresses down and said, "Hey, can any of you roller skate?" before he implemented it?
It was probably his only hope, honestly.
Just to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably got that mindset like, hey, we just got to do it. They probably give him a little pep talk like before the NBA finals, like, all right, you guys, you're all going to be wearing roller skates. You're going to be going out there. So they're going out there.
Could you imagine the NBA finals with roller skates?
That would be something. What about roller blading? Which maybe one team would have rollerblades, one would have roller skates, one would like have a skateboard. They'd have skateboards and they'd have to do like the tricks.
Would
You know what I
Wemby
mean?
need the skateboard?
Wimby would need something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think Wimby would do? Do you think he'd have a skateboard or what do you think he'd be doing?
I think all the centers would have like skateboards.
So, yeah, like the centers would be the skateboard, like point guards. I could see more on like rollerblades.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a new sport that, like, I could see somebody doing that. Like, is Vince McMahon still doing stuff? And what we're gonna do is put the basketball players on roller skates. That could be his new venture.
I could see him doing something like
Yeah,
that if he ran the
he
NBA finals.
he did do the. Well, you're probably not familiar with the first XFL, are you? We'll have to talk about that another time. I don't, but I could totally see him doing a basketball league with roller skates. That would definitely be something.
I'm surprised he hasn't made it yet.
Yeah, that would be on like a streaming service. It's an idea. Wait, I can't even do a Vince McMahon anymore. So the NBA stops, right? And we start because the whole thing with the XFL when he started it was like the Super Bowl is just gonna end, and we're gonna start our league and get all that publicity. You know what I mean? Like people were so hyped because people are hyped for the Super Bowl. So like he thought that. Well, one of his reasonings, I can't say like what he thought, but like one of his reasonings was that, they were just getting started with the Super Bowls. So after the Knicks won their championship after 53 years, Vince McMahon, could be introducing as roller skating, roller blading, skateboarding,
Skateboards.
basketball league, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which cities would have basketball teams, do you think?
I don't even want to go there. Would you like to say anything? I probably wouldn't. I think I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's up to Vince McMahon and his team, I guess, if they do this or whoever. Maybe someone else's. Wouldn't that be something if someone else like heard that, like another entrepreneur, and like, wait a minute,
Vince or whoever's listening, trillionaire idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This might not. Oh, imagine this would be the one that would make billions of dollars, though, like a roller skating basketball league. All
Like,
right.
watch every player make like billions.
Yeah. All right. So, what were we even talking about? Oh, so yeah. So they're roller skating. They're all falling down. Potsy talks Richie into being in the bomb shelter. The funny thing is like, Potsy, like, when he's talking to him, he's like, hey, you need me in there. What would life be without your best friend, right? You know, what he should have began with is like, hey, MFer, you left me at a stag party to go with the woman. You know what I mean? Like, he seems to have forgotten what Richie did to him in that episode.
I do have to say this, right? That would be great, like reasoning,
Yeah.
but Potsy is not the sharpest tool in the shed. I hate to say it, but since he's the name of the podcast, but
Yeah.
he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
So, being Potsy, he just did what he thought was best.
That's true. Yeah. So Potsy does talk Richie into letting him in the bomb shelter. Richie does not clear it with his father, which probably would have been a better idea before he did this. Then Fonzie thankfully rides up. Fonzie's wearing like a white windbreaker, so still not the leather jacket yet. And Potsy, of course, the first thing he says is, hey, Richie's got some news, right?
Yeah.
And then Richie doesn't want to tell him. And then Fonzie kind of does his little threatening him without threatening him. Like, are you trying to keep a secret from the Fonz? And then Richie tells him that, like, he's building a bomb shelter. And Fonz is just like, oh, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then, if that weren't enough, coming up is Ralph Mouth in his hot rod with two ladies. And one of the ladies seems to be talking about going on a date with another guy, if I'm not mistaken. And then you notice this. Tell us about what the car was doing as he pulled up.
I'm pretty sure as soon as he pulled up, the car was kind of backing out.
Yeah, the car went backwards. I don't know if that was planned or if this was just like, again, they had to get this shot because they had so much money right on the slinky trick shot. Then one of the doors never closed. And I don't know if you noticed how like Richie kind of subtly came up and shut the door because it like popped open.
I feel like in this episode, everything was probably one take because of that
Yeah.
opening credits.
I know they're probably like, the producers are probably talking to each other. They're like, hey, good news, bad news situation again. The good news is we were able to save money by not paying the director, but we did have to spend quite a bit from the chuck allowance for the slinky trick shot. But we realized the slinky trick shot cost a little more than we thought, so everything's just gonna have to be one take. They improvise, that's it. Nothing more. We're done. Whatever happens, happens, right? That's sure what it seems like.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then like Ralph Mouth, I guess like somehow, I don't know if Potts, I don't even remember. People are falling all over the place. Malts are going everywhere. And something happened where Ralph Mouth then is told about the bomb shelter, and Ralph like at first like doesn't care, but then he's like trying to get with a lady that would want to go on a bomb shelter. Is this right?
Yeah.
And so then like Ralph wants to take the girl to a bomb shelter. And then doesn't Ralph also say like, tell Rich, oh, then he tells Rich he has 2 tickets to the rock and roll show. I love how they just call it the rock and roll show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do mention it's the guy that sings the theme song, Bill Haley. Like they do mention his name, but mostly they just say rock and roll show over and over.
Is that what they used to call a concert back then?
I guess so. It was just a rock and roll show. Then, like, I think then Ralph starts talking about how Richie should ask some girl out. And then Ralph says he asked the girl out and he got down on his knees. Didn't he to beg her? And then Richie says something like, well, I'm not going to get down on my knees. And Ralph said something like, well, you should see the way this girl kisses. He says, even with one of, I think he says something like, even with one of her lips, if I'm not mistaken. It's like, wow, 1974. was wild. So,
Family show, by the way.
yeah. So then Richie does go to ask a girl. And here's the thing that I noticed. Remember was it assorted nuts or assaulted nuts? That pecan?
I think it was assorted.
Yeah, the assorted nuts pecan was in that gang.
Yeah.
Did you notice this gang of girls had like gold jackets and they said something like magnets we attract?
Oh my gosh.
Is that the name of their group? I think they need to go back to the drawing board. Like, I could see magnets or, like, in quotations, we attract, but it literally just said magnets we attract.
One, what a name. Two, did they just have like a bunch of gangs back then? Because you got the
Yeah,
sorted.
there's just gangs everywhere. I mean, wow. Yeah, you got the salted nuts or assorted nuts. You got the, yeah, I didn't know. You got the Dukes.
You got the devils.
Yeah.
You got
Or the demons.
yeah, the demons.
Yeah, maybe the devils. I'm sure there is a devils. There's like everything.
Doesn't the Fonz have one?
He was in the demons. I don't know if he's in his own. I'm sure he's got his own thing.
Because I thought didn't he come in with one or?
He came in with some guys. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. They might have just been loosely affiliated, but yeah, I mean, this is a wild time, the 1950s, apparently. Yeah. So he goes to the girl. The girl says that she has 3 dates for Saturday when he asks her out. And then she's like, wasn't his name Coochie?
I don't even
Or
remember.
Cootie? No, Cootie. She said something like she wanted to go out with Cootie because he has a color TV. Then Richie spills the beans that he has a bomb shelter, and then she decides to just go out with Richie instead of her other 3 suitors.
Just because she hears bomb shelter.
Yeah, this bomb shelter is getting very crowded. You know?
Yeah. I wonder if that bomb shelter was the most entertaining thing back then because it seems like everyone's so interested in it.
Well, I think they just wanted to live.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, so.
But that could add on to it.
Yeah. So we go to what happened next. I think that's the end of that episode. I think that's the end of that scene, mercifully. Then we cut to what did happen next.
I think it's where, like, he's with the girl. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So then we cut to Richie and the lady, I can't remember her name, are making out. And I'm like, where are they making out? They look like they're in a drive-in or something. And they don't really say, but then Richie's like, that was a great rock and roll show, huh? So I guess maybe they're either in the parking lot. I don't know if they're just like at a standstill or they're at the submarine races. You know what I mean? But yeah, so they're talking about that. And then, wait, is that when he says about the bomb shelter? Was that? I don't even know what's going on here. I didn't really want to take notes for this episode.
It looked like a drive-in from what it looked like, but I feel like we would have heard a movie or something.
Yeah.
Also, what made me very sad is, I don't remember what row it was, but it's very sad that we did not see row L or whatever the hell it was guy there.
Yeah, the guy yelling for his wife and 10 kids.
Yeah, well, Richie was having a moment.
Yeah, that would be weird, though, if he went to the rock and roll show directly to a drive-in movie, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not saying it wasn't. I mean, stranger things have happened.
I think, like, she mentions, oh, I might date this guy as well that, like, has a cool television or whatever. I don't remember exactly what she said because I forgot to take notes, but yeah.
Yeah, that was, I know. I can't remember if it was that TV thing before or after. Anyways, I don't think anything of significance happens, but she's still apparently one of the invitees of the bomb shelter. So we cut to the Cunningham house. Howard is nervously walking around looking for his helmet because they're having a drill. I guess a practice bomb shelter drill. Joni comes down with her giant panda and wants to bring in the panda. And then Howard's like, that panda's too big. Little does Howard know that there's already 30 other people that are going to be joining them in the bomb shelter. And then Joni comes back with the helmet that Howard is looking for on her giant panda, and no one notices it.
You want to know what I wonder? Why did she use the helmet instead of her stupid little Mickey Mouse ears?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't have the helmet. Maybe the helmet came with this purchase. You know what I mean?
Or maybe it came with the budget.
Yeah, exactly. Then Marion does realize that's the helmet. They go outside and, like, there's a man smoking a pipe out there, right?
Yeah.
So they go out there, which I'm like, oh, maybe this is like one of the guys that's like installing the bomb shelter, because they don't really say anything. And then like Marion and Howard are talking, and then like Howard's like, oh, that's where the bathroom's gonna be, that's where this is gonna be, all this stuff. And it looks like a 5 foot by 5 foot, like it's all roped off with like these stakes in the ground. And it looks like I don't know how they're gonna build anything in that small space. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how Howard's gonna fit in that small area.
Was that man Pockets?
What, behind him?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You
Because he
think
was
it
kind of
was?
like dressed like him. I mean, I couldn't really tell, but
It could have been. Maybe it was that actor, and they're like, oh, we just need somebody for, this. So then I guess they're having a drill to practice, which definitely makes sense that they're practicing before they have an actual facility.
yeah.
Yeah, so Joni and Richie comes out. Then I think Howard goes back inside for some reason, right?
Yeah.
Because then that's when everybody starts coming. Potsy starts coming.
Ralph Mouth and his girl.
Yeah, Ralph Mouth and his girlfriend. Fonzie drives up in his motorcycle. Then he lies down on his motorcycle and he says something like, what? Ain't you ever seen a motorcycle before?
And then I think that's when Howard comes out.
Yeah, then Howard comes in and he's like, what's going on here? Or something to that effect. And then, like, I guess Richie spills the beans that he promised all these people that they could go in the bomb shelter with him. And Howard's like, absolutely not. We don't have the room. And then, like, I think Fonzie's going to literally attack Howard. But instead, he just says something like, well, if the bomb drops on your car, don't come to my shop, right? And then he just leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then everybody leaves. It's like the family. Then, like, Joni and Richie get upset about everything. So they leave. Then, like, they notice that guy in the back, and Howard's like, is that guy with you? And she's like, no, I thought he was with you. So we never know why that strange man smoking a pipe is standing in their backyard.
Yeah, they never explained that.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. What if that man is there to help the Fonz scheme for his master plan?
You know what? That is a great idea. It's gotta mean something. It's either one of two things. It's either one, that guy was like an extra and he was like an extra for another show that was on in the 1970s and he was on the wrong lot, but yet they still had to keep filming it because of the slinky trick shot. Or, yes, B, which is more likely, that man is with the Fonz. He's like, maybe Fonz is talking to him. He's like, you need to help me. And the guy's like, I'm going to look. I bet that they kick you out. And Fonzie's like, they're not going to kick me out of the bomb shelter. You know what I mean? And then they ended up kicking him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's, yes, I 100% agree. So then we cut to Richie goes to Arnold's inside, and like Ralph Mouth, who else besides Ralph Mouth? Potsy, and then like was it a random girl or was it Ralph's girlfriend? The girl was sitting by Potsy.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah, so he like comes in and starts talking to him, and like he apologizes, I think, about the bomb shelter, not helping them, not letting them have a space like he promised. I guess also not clearing it with his father before he promised. So then he's like, hey, can I sit down? And like, yeah, you can come and sit down. Then they get up and leave, and they're like, we're just leaving. So they leave poor Richie. And then Marcia, the waitress that quits, has like a neck brace, and she's telling Richie, I guess to make him feel better, like, hey, I get all this grief from people too, which I don't know how that's going to make him feel better. And she's like, you just get used to it. Then she gives him like what looks like a very flat soda on the house. Yeah. So then we cut to the backyard. I think Howard's there all by himself, right?
Wait a minute. We forgot about the family meeting again.
They had an emergency family meeting again?
Yeah.
Okay, so we cut back to the Cunningham house. They have an emergency family meeting, right?
Yeah. I think Richie's like talking to Howard, and he's saying like he wants to discuss something about the bomb shelter with him. And Howard's saying like, oh, do you want us to get a deluxe one or something? Because I've been thinking about it. And he's like, no, like, let's just have a family meeting about it. And Howard calls a family meeting, and Richie discusses with him, saying that he'd like to get rid of the bomb shelter because all of his friends hate him because of it now. And Joni mentions, I think before like the family meeting, she's like, 2 family meetings in less than a week? Man, no wonder I'm so nervous all the time. And I think Marion said that she'd like to invite a friend over, but then Howard's like, no. And then he's like, let's take a vote on it. Who wants to keep it? And all of them don't want to keep it. So he's like, you know what? I'm the man of this house. So no matter what, I'm going to do what's best. So,
Yeah, that's right. I can't believe I forgot that pivotal plot point. Yeah, now I remember that. Yeah, yeah. And then don't they go to the backyard and Howard just kind of like stands there, and that's when like Richie gives Howard a talk.
yeah.
And like, I can't remember again, we need to take notes, but Richie was just like trying to explain to him, like, hey, look, like, you know, if we survive, but none of our friends do, or something to that effect, right? And
Yeah.
he like, I don't know, he said something really meaningful at the end, but I can't remember to Howard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then it just kind of freezes. And then we cut to Arnold's and we see Ralph Mouth. It was Ralph Mouth. No, it was the Fonz and Potsy. Ralph Mouth is next to the Fonz. They're thumb wrestling in the booth at Arnold's. And Fonzie like pins Potsy in record time, right?
Yeah.
And then Ralph Mouth announces something to the effect of like, Fonzie's the champion. And Fonzie goes something like, hey, I just retired. And then like Ralph gets terrified, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, that's right, Fonz. Yeah. You retired, Fonz. Yeah. I feel like we also missed a time when Ralph said a joke. It might have been here. And like they made some kind of comment, right? Oh, did he tell someone to send it in the mail or something, or to write a letter?
Yeah.
Like as an insult, he said something like, yeah, write a letter.
I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I know he said something and it just went completely silent again. And he's all laughing at it like, oh, I'm ahead of your time.
Yeah, he did say that. He said, I'm just ahead. Yeah, because then they made another remark about how he's not funny or something. And he said, like, oh, I'm ahead of your time. Yeah. So then that was the end of the episode. Do we miss anything? I mean, I know I missed that pivotal scene where they had the family meeting, but
Oh, I do know Richie comes in and they all forgive him.
yeah. Richie was sitting there in Arnold's, right? Or he came in and I don't know, something happened, but he is forgiven and they're all friends again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helpful Howard or horrible Howard?
Well, here's what I think. If we're just going by the episode and not that they had to improvise because they spent so much money on the slinky trick shot, I'm going to say horrible Howard, because he was thinking only of himself. He wasn't thinking of the family when the family decided they didn't want this bomb shelter. You know what I mean? Like, he had to have Richie, a guy who was trying to go see a waitress physically hurt herself as entertainment, give him philosophy.
I'm going to have to agree with you because even when his entire family disagreed with him, he didn't listen.
Yeah.
At least in that moment, he didn't listen.
Yeah. So I say horrible Howard.
I have to say the same as well, because I feel like for a while he wouldn't listen to his family and stuff, and I feel like, you know, you should at least listen to them before you're just like, no, I'm going to make the decision.
Yeah. He was like, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely horrible Howard in this one. All right. So, we are done with season 1. At some point, this show gets retooled. There's literally nowhere to go but up, right?
Yeah.
So, next, if it continues, will be season 2. Again, maybe retooled in the season, maybe, I don't know, but we're about to see if we are going to make season 2. So, do you want to see another episode?
Yes.
All right, so we are making it at least to season 2. We'll see if Fonzie and Ralph Mouth's actors are in the opening credits. We will see if the Happy Days song, hopefully, we'll see some improvement. I don't see how it could be for a show that lasted 10 years. But yeah. All right, so if you like this, please like, subscribe, tell everyone you know. Unless you didn't like it, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you for listening.
What's Happy Days?